to Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Oh my God. We're halfway through March. I don't know where the time's going. It's crazy. But I'm Denise, and welcome to another edition of Finding Calm in the Chaos. And, hey, good news on the podcast home front. I have not been canceled. Sorry. See, when you sleep all the time, you can find so much joy in stuff. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, last Saturday's episode was a little political. And I tried to explain some things. I'd using only facts because I'm like in the middle of all this chaos going on in our country. But I ultimately believe that, if we just look at facts, we can really like cut things down a little bit, right? In all this fighting. I only got 2 hate messages. Now I say hate messages because they absolutely were. No, I didn't report them to Facebook. I did not know who they were. They are people who followed me. I unfollowed them from me because I don't want somebody like that. Like, I don't need anybody. But I will basically read their, we're going to go through because I wanted to talk about, there were some extreme similarities. And these 2 people, both of them were women, and both of them are located in 2 different parts of the country. So that was interesting to me, the similarities, even though through so many differences and locational differences. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I got some stuff I want to go through, some stuff to discuss. Cave camping 2025 success. Listen, I learned from last year. So everybody knows Mr. Sith is not a planner. He's not real big in organization. But it is what it is, right? It's who he is. So last year, cave camping with scouts, complete shit show. He literally brought a off-white like tracksuit. I'm like, why is this tracksuit orange? Because he tried to wash like the cave mud clay off of it, but it had changed. You know how it leaves that residue behind from the minerals. You gotta laugh, okay? And it was like literally Peter wore that tracksuit once, and I was like, guess I'm number 1 not gonna wear that anymore, and number 2, we're not buying off-white stuff. It just looked really cute on him, so I'm like, Anyway, so everything came home basically drenched and ruined in mud, and I thought, why? Like, why didn't we plan for this? If everybody knows the cave is muddy, why is everybody prepared but us? So I do try. I am a planner. You guys know I'm a planner, but I'm trying not to interfere in the scout thing. But when I don't interfere, sometimes it could take a real hard left turn. You know what I'm saying? So this year I was prepared. He had a pair of wellies that he was wearing like up to his knees or like calves, So he had a full wellies, and then I bought basically plastic pants. So they're pants that go over stuff when they're out in the snow. So it's like waterproof, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, this is great. You just put them on. They sound like you're wearing a garbage bag, but who cares? So if he has a pair of pants on, flip those on over, put on your wellies. Now he's got a double layer like on the lower legs, which is apparently good there. And then, here's a sweatshirt with a t-shirt underneath it. We don't care if the sweatshirt gets dirty on day 1 because we have sweatshirt number 2. They're both black based. I'm really like going all out, right? And, cover his head, and we're good to go. Mr. Sith decides that this year they're only taking their cots and they're going to have like disposable sleeping bags. Okay. And then you could just put, to me, in my mind, I thought, so you have these like foil, heat resistant, whatever sleeping bags, like paper, and then they're recyclable, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about them getting muddy. And here's me. Okay. I guess he just brings like a pillow or a blanket. No, not Mr. Sith. He didn't bring a pillow or a blanket. He thought that like an emergency foil sleeping bag was going to keep my kid warm in a cave. I can't, guys. Needless to say, Peter was miserable and he was cold and he cried, which breaks my heart because, you know, everybody else's dads remembered the fucking blankets, but he didn't. And as a result, Peter's very emotional and he does not care if he cries in front of people. But eventually that might catch up with him in this really cruel society we live in. So I'm like, great. So he cried in front of the boys again. And he's like, yeah, okay. Because he's not going to get a reputation or anything. Hey, cool, thanks. I mean, I don't care that he does that, but I care that what other kids are going to do in the long run. Kids can be super cruel, period. We all know that. So needless to say, he hardly got any sleep. Plus he was miserable. In the morning, they went to Cracker Barrel. He loves Cracker Barrel. They went to Cracker Barrel because they were up in Wisconsin. And then they drove back down. And then by the time they came back down here, he wasn't really hungry. Like, I forget, he had something. I don't know. He snacked on something, but it was like really small and like healthy. So I was like, he's really not like up to par yet. And then he sat on the couch to watch a movie and fell asleep like at 4:00. And then by 4:30, he's like open mouth. Like bad, right? And they kept telling me, the orthodontist is like, does he snore? I'm like, yeah, since he was a baby. And he's like, yeah, well, once he gets like his teeth like straightened out and like all that is done and the expander, he's like, the expander will help that substantially. Okay, yeah, he does not breathe through his nose anymore and snore. Now he mouth breathes and snores. It's like, what is going on? So I just felt like so bad for him. So I told him, like, get undressed, hon. Just like relax on the couch, watch a movie. It's a little too early to go to bed. Yeah, he lasted like 5 minutes and then he fell asleep. So we told him to just get up and go to bed. And he slept through the night from like 4:30. He slept through the night until the next day. And I had to wake him up. I'm like, it's like, it's a homeschool day. Like, I have to wake you up. We have to start our lessons. We're very structured. So like, I have a time that we like lessons and like what time we want to finish our lessons. But I was like, wait, this poor kid is like knocked out. Like he was done. So I was like, okay, whatever. So finally he is caught up with his sleep. I can officially say he's caught up with his sleep. What else started this week? Rugby season, spring session has began. It is officially begun. There you go. Because I guess it already happened, right? So we are doing rugby again. So Peter liked rugby. We did a winter session to see how it went. He just went in any old gear. This year, he's still in rookies. I guess you're not really in like organized, got to play a game. They just teach right now until U11. So he has one more year. And so I'm like, okay, that sounds legit. So we need to, okay, I'm laughing because Buster's sitting in the window and he's looking out across the street and there's some sort of tarp or something that's blowing in the bushes across the street. And he's looking at it like, ooh, what is that scary blanket? So if he starts barking, there's that. You know, I don't even care anymore. Buster's got, my friend Shonda was like, hey, Buster's got something to say when he talks in the podcast. Like, hey, I'm glad. That's what I'm going to say from now on. So thanks, Shonda. What else? Outside of Rugby is starting. So yeah, I had to buy him like cleats this time and all the stuff and a mouth guard just in case. He doesn't wear it well. I'm gonna put it that way. He's not really good with a mouth guard, but I'm not gonna pay all this money to fix his teeth and then have his teeth knocked out and he's not even in hockey. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I get to sit outside on a field. There was a reason I like hockey, people, okay? Because it's inside. Because it's inside and it's cool. I don't mind that it's cool, but I don't like sitting outside. So here I'm thinking like in the summer, like, does this go through the whole summer? Hot. I mean, lupus and heat just doesn't go like hand in hand. And again, I'm not interested in like finding new friends or talking to people. I'd be that mom like way over on the end. But you know, I have to just, I don't know, say hello to people, I guess. And be like a rugby mom. I guess I'm a rugby mom now. There you go. How exciting for me. All right. What else is going on? I'm looking at the thing. Oh, Mr. Sith and I had our 13th wedding anniversary this week. How awesome is that? 13 years. It's the most I've dated any of my boyfriends in the past combined all together, plus then some time. I'm like, oh my gosh, 13 years. I will tell you though, it seems longer, but in a good way. Because you feel like we've already done a decade together. That's crazy. But I feel like we have grown in our marriage to like such a point where like we're solid. So we're good to go. He's always going to do stuff that makes me crazy. And I'm always going to do stuff that makes him crazy. And isn't that kind of like what a marriage is? You know what I'm saying? I love you, Mr. Seth. What else? Oh, gosh. What did we do for the anniversary? Well, in all honesty, it's Wednesday night and we're going out tonight because we were too busy during the week. We were too busy on the day. Sunday, they just got home. Monday, Mr. Sith had to work late. Tuesday, we had rugby. It's just like we can't find time. We're trying to find time to do stuff. And then here's the thing. We go on an anniversary dinner, but we don't have a babysitter, like ever. We just don't leave him with anybody. And in all honesty, I don't have any friends that are close enough that I would leave him with. And I don't like to, I feel like I'm taking advantage of people when I ask them to like watch or sit with him. So he likes French food. So we just like bring him with. I know exactly what he'll order. He'll order some sort of cheesy pasta. Because they have pasta there too. But it is a French bistro, so they have French specialties as well. But last time he ordered the pasta, but he always orders the snails like I do. He'll order a full order just for himself because I won't share and he won't share. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? Escargot. Baby, look at that escargot. So I'm going to take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and talk about something that happened with our hockey fam and go through that story today.
Hello, I'm Peter Sith, and I'm here to tell you about something you have to have for your kids. My new book, Popcorn World. Peek inside my creative brain and meet Dylan, an ordinary kid who accidentally finds a portal to his new world in his basement while looking for his lost soccer ball. Your kids will totally be able to relate to Dylan and all his emotions, trials, and big act of kindness in my story. I worked on creating this book over the summer with my awesome tutor, Dr. Peterson. She helped me guide me through the parts of my book, and boom, Popcorn World was created. Another cool fact, my mom does all the drawings. Trust me, these pictures and the story are super cool, but you can find out yourself by picking up a copy on Amazon. And it's available worldwide. So even if my family and friends in Slovakia, Canada, Scotland, and Italy can get a copy of Popcorn World. Don't forget the name, Popcorn World. Available on Amazon now. Let's make reading cool.
Hello, we're back. Second half. I want to give everybody like a nice time this Wednesday since it was so rough. And we're still going to talk about the messages for sure. But first, I just wanted to go through with you guys and basically talk about this. So we went to our annual season ticket holder. It said banquet. It said banquet. Now, I've owned season tickets for other hockey teams before, but this is my, I would say my first full year, but our second year, we hopped in about 3 months late last season. So we did almost a full season, like 75% of it last year. This is our first full season, hockey season. We do half season tickets, meaning there's 40 games in a year. We can't do that. It's a 50-minute ride to the rink. Either way, we have 2 AHL, American Hockey League teams by us, each in a separate direction. One goes directly east, one goes directly west. Both are 50 minutes away. So we opted to go where there's less traffic and a smaller venue because we thought it would be more intimate. And it is completely. We love it. The issue is, so the AHL team, it's the Rockford Ice Hogs. I'm not knacking them. I don't even know if this would get to them in any way, shape, or form, but I just want to make a disclaimer. Once it does, we are not unappreciative as season ticket holders. I am just stating truths and comparisons in my experience with other hockey teams within the American Hockey League. There you go. So there's the disclaimer. I'm just stating facts here, peeps, okay? But the email said that there was a season ticket holder banquet. Oh, I'm like, oh, that's cute. They do that here too, because I've been to other banquets. Okay. But then it turned out to be at a casino, which is one of the big sponsors of the team. And so I thought, oh, okay, probably should ask if the kid could come because we have 3 season tickets. One of them is for our kid and it's a casino. So that question got answered right away. Yep, kids totally okay. I mean, it would be kind of ridiculous if it wasn't. There are a lot of kids at these games. We just had to enter a certain door. Cool, right? Done. Then I'm like, okay, so how are we drinking? Usually, or how are we drinking? How are we dressing? It's usually kind of like business casual or, you're not going to the game, but you're not going to a club. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to a wedding. You don't need that kind of thing. So I want to ask just in case. And so somebody already posed the question, another person who was a first year season ticket holder. And so multiple people answered, oh, it's totally casual. Wear your jerseys. And here's me. Why would you wear your jersey to a banquet? So I have this thing. I collect jerseys. I've washed basically only one my entire life because I'm so particular. I have like an eating stance. I don't eat sitting in my seat. I even have a drinking stance when I'm with a straw. I just don't care. I don't want stuff on my jersey. Unlike Peter, who I've washed his jerseys pretty much more in the time that he's had jerseys within a year than I've washed all my jerseys in their lifetimes. Because he's like fun when he's out. It's like a 3-course meal, sometimes 4. And that said, moving along, Denise, so now I'm like, okay, it's casual, wear jerseys. Who the hell wants to eat at a banquet table with a jersey on? I'm just not okay with that. But I'm like, let your OCD go, Denise. People could do what they want. So I was like, okay. Then they were like, well, you just go and you scan your tickets, and people complain they didn't have tickets. And then they said they found out that there was like a waiting list to get in. I don't know if any of this is true, but here's me like, why would there be a waiting list? If you are an organization, you know how many season ticket holders you have. So you know how big your venue needs to be or how many seats for your venue. You just need your RSVP. So if people are RSVPing, why are they on a waiting list? It just seemed odd to me, right? We get there. It is an utter shit show. I kid you not. Now, you guys, I am not a liner. I will not get in line for shit. I just do not think there's very few things in this life that I feel warrant standing in line for. I just don't. It's just me. Okay? I get that. But the amount of time that people waste standing in line for shit in their life is ridiculous. So here's me. Why are we standing in line again? Whatever. So they had our, like a pop-up merchandise store, which is fine because they have the specialty shirts for guys who are there, blah, 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 so that they can, everybody can get stuff signed. So here's me. Wait, they're going to eat with us and sign things? I'm so confused. So Peter brought 2 pucks, a regular puck that he had for his favorite goalie, Drew Comesso, to sign. And then he had another game played puck that he got from one of the event staff during a game where the other goalie, Mitchell Weeks, got a shutout game, meaning we won. They had no score. So that's a big thing for the goalie. So Peter had like a puck from that game and he wanted Weeks to sign it. And so I'm like, that's cool. But then I saw that there were cards and I'm like, well, wait, if they're going to they have like VIP cards, right? So I thought, okay, cool. I got a little package of them. I'll just have the boys sign them. They're not for all the boys. So that was kind of awkward because like some of the guys, I'm like, yeah, you've already signed his jersey. Because how many times do you need something signed? Let me explain to you people. Sometimes it's a lot of shit. People will stand in line and have these boys sign shit every week. And I'm like, that's not necessary. It's a current season. Have them all sign something once. You're done. We've already been to player events at the venue where the boys are out signing autographs. Okay, that's cool. Move it along. Why do you need to see them and stalk them every game? They're fucking tired. Let them go home and go to sleep and get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. So they limited. So now I'm thinking, wait a minute. What is this turning into right now? They're like, for the meet and greets, everyone's going to be at a table and you can only have 1 item per person. Here's me. That sounds legitimately like thumbs up for me. But wait a minute. Is it a meet and greet after the banquet? I'm so confused. We get into this place. There's tons of fucking people everywhere. Everybody's standing in lines. Nobody knows what they're standing in line for. And then it hits me. There are food lines. The players aren't even out yet. And here's me. Wait a minute. We have to stand in line to get food? Like they're not even delivering it to our tables? Okay, fine. Then we get past the crowd and it's weird. It was a room with a big stage. Okay. It was a pretty big stage. And then it had a flat area in front of it, like a normal stage. The stage was probably like 4 feet up, 4.5. And then there was a big open space with like, I'm not even joking, like 16 tables with maybe 8 chairs at each one. And then various stations of food around. We didn't even know they had like, they had apparently like I think it was a prime rib or a roast beef and ham carving station, but it was over in the far corner. Nobody knew it was there. I'm like, okay. And I turned and so opposite the stage, so in between, it's like a valley, right? There's a stage, this flat area, and then an area with like risers, like actual chairs, like an auditorium. And I'm like, people are sitting in the auditorium chairs and they're eating. And here's me. What the hell are they eating? What are we drinking? Now, there was an open bar outside the actual auditorium in the hallway because it's the Hard Rock Casino. So you could purchase like alcoholic drinks, I think, but I don't drink, so that doesn't matter. But like no like soda option, just small water bottles, which don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to the small water bottles because kids and people waste them all the time. So I'm totally okay with that. But what I wasn't okay with was how nothing was set up. Nothing was at the water station except ice. And they were literally had the carts in front of it and the people loading it like it's no big deal. It's well past start time for the event. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know what's worse. If we are using this room and it's the Rockford event staff, or if this is the Hard Rock Casino event staff and they're this shitty, because neither one is winning brownie points with me. Then I find the food. Now, mind you, at this point, we had no idea that was like roast beef and ham. I'm looking and it's like a little quarter of a potato, like say like a roast potato, like picture a baked potato cut in quarters the long way with this white cheese and some stuff sprinkled on top, like bacon bits and chives maybe, on a plate. So it's not hot and they're just serving them and putting them up. So like this little tiny, maybe like 3x3 square plate. And everything's disposable because this is like just basically fast food. It's basically stadium food we're getting served. Then they had hot dogs wrapped in bacon and regular hot dogs too, apparently. I didn't eat anything because there's like, oh shit, I can't eat that or my stomach's going to get upset. I can't eat that. I don't know where that hot dog's from, how long it's been sitting out. I don't do buns, but I don't want to take the bun off at the last minute. Like, it's just a big deal. It's like, I didn't feel it was accommodating. They had a taco station. They had desserts out with like cookies and stuff. Mr. Sith and Peter ate. I didn't eat until the very end. Okay. And then I was literally getting dizzy because I hadn't ate dinner thinking we were going to a banquet and I'd at least get a salad out of it and some veggies. I was super disappointed. Now, other season ticket holders said that was some of the best food we've ever had. That scared the shit out of me because I'm like, this is horrible. The banquets I've went to in the past have literally all been sit down meals in large auditoriums, and usually had like your radio guy, like our radio guy, also did like the emceeing for the night. But he also, introduced the players, and then the players would come down to the tables and take turns, like each being at a table, so that you got to spend one-on-one time with all the players. It was like, 10 minutes, right? It was like, I don't know, like flip tables. You know what I'm saying? You just keep going from table to table. They kept going, and everybody got a chance to sit down, enjoy their meal, but at the same time, like talk. You didn't bother the players with, autographs. There's plenty of other events for that. But I just thought, okay, there isn't even enough fucking tables for people to sit at. So then I'm like thinking, we just got there. We got there on time. It right on the dot. And of course, there were people saving fucking seats. And this is why I'm thinking, why would you have so many people that responded that you chose a venue that didn't even fit the people who responded? It made no sense to me. I'm not going to lie, I was internally highly agitated. Then we started standing in line for some of the players. Okay, so we thought we'd start. I don't have cards for all the players. So for the first two tables, I'm like, I'm really sorry. We've signed. It's not we don't want your autograph. We have your autograph elsewhere and you're not in the cards. They're selling the cards. You're not in the cards. I'm sorry. But we love you. Thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us when you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Well, they probably have to. But I thought it was really nice, right? But then we find out midway through the auditorium that if we just go to the back where we started and work at the tables backwards, they just follow each other. meaning it's one line. So basically, they had a whole group of people, the one we got stuck in, where you waited in line and basically met another line coming at you. So you were going past them. Except finally, by the time we got to the table, because we started early, so the first table did not have that. So when we got to the second table, I'm like, why are people coming at us? No organization, no directional signs. No, like it was horrible. I wound up having a hot dog at the end with the bacon wrapped around it because that was the only thing that was offered in addition to onions and green peppers on the bottom of the bun. What if people didn't eat those or they had an allergy to them or sensitivity? I don't eat green peppers, so I just picked mine off. The potato thing was cold and it was gross. And so I was like, well, that's like not good. And Peter and Mr. Sith went back and got another hot dog because, dudes. So I was greatly disappointed in what I had received in the past as season ticket holder in other organizations. They definitely need some help. Yeah, I would actually even step up to be like a paid volunteer coordinator because I don't do shit for free anymore because my services are extraordinary. Let's be honest. I would make that event like hands down the best season ticket holder event ever in the existence of their organization. Just saying, I'm here if you need me for next year. But it was extremely disappointing to me. And I feel that a lot of people weren't as disappointed or at least happy with some of the things because they didn't know better. They never saw the grass on the other side. So I'm like, but there's tons of things that our organization, that the Rockford organization does do that or doesn't do that I love that other organizations force the players to do. And I think that causes some weird like relationship bizarreness between some of the younger fans and the players. I feel like a lot of gals like start fabricating and being consumed with like having relationships with these players that don't really exist. So I thought, okay, been there and done that. I've seen all the stuff go on. I've been with friends, with people. It's just, I thought it would just be better this way, right? So I love that we have limited contact unless you go out of your way at other places to see the boys and stuff, and I like that. That said, once we figured out what line to freaking get in, then it was fine. There were lines, of course, but I just thought, I wish there was more of a sit down so people could eat. It was more like, come on in, get shit signed, get out. That's how it kind of felt like it went. And if that's how Hard Rock throws events, I would never go to Hard Rock to do any kind of event ever. Like ever. It was horrible. And their food was horrible. So no, I would not do anything at Hard Rock in Rockford. Just saying. Sorry, not sorry. Show me otherwise and we can talk. Peter had a great time. He, met with his Drew Camaso and Drew signed his puck and, took a pic. And then he met with Mitchell Weeks, the other goalie, told him about his puck. He was like, how cool. They took a picture. And Pete just loves this stuff. He'll stand right next to him, put his arm around him on his shoulders. He don't care. And then we met one of the Czech players, Marcel. That's his actual name. So there's that. But it was nice. He had a huge smile on his face as soon as he found out that we had Slovak blood. He was super excited. And he took a picture with Peter. And the funny thing about it is that when I posted it on socials, everybody was like, are they related? Because they really did look alike. They had like the same cheeks, the same eyes, the same smile, the nose. It was weird. So it must be a Czechoslovakian thing. There you go. So it was overall a great experience for Peter. For me, it had a lot. They need a lot of work to get that anywhere near any of the organizations that are their competitors when it comes to season ticket events. I would have preferred to just go to the actual stadium that we play in and just maybe kind of have any of the, I don't know, any of like the food kiosks open and we just grab what we want on them, that kind of thing. They determine what the thing is and we just get it and hang out in our seats or whatnot, because yeah, I would prefer that at this point compared to it being where it was. That said, moving on, we're going to wrap up the day here. So last week I did this political podcast. It had, first, overall, it had great reviews. Number one, my listening percentages were higher that day. So I got listened to more. And so I appreciate that. I also got positive feedback from people. So that's also a great thing. No one complained. I did get 2 random DMs, both from Facebook, from people who followed me, but I don't know who they are. One was from, coincidentally, the West Coast, and one was from the East Coast. Now, I'm going to read you the messages they've sent me because it really hit home some familiarities here. So the interesting about all this was that, so disclaimer, I'm going to read these messages exactly how they were sent to me. And like I said, I got no other messages from anyone. No one being like, hey girl, you rock, but nothing. Everyone was just like, you know what, Denise, that was thank you for doing the episode. There were some things I didn't know, some things I did know, but thank you for like putting stuff out there and like just trying to state facts to bring everybody together, because that was my intent. These are the only 2 messages that I got that were uncontent, I guess, or uncontent with my podcast message. And it just, to me, I'm going to point out some similarities, but I'm sure you'll notice them right away. So the first one came in the afternoon that the podcast posted, and the second one came through the following day. They are 2 separate people. They are verified actual people. Actually, if you saw, like, when you match like the profile to the name and all of that, and then you hear this message, they're quite shocking. It was quite shocking because I had to look who both these people were because I did not know them. Again, I have a large following on Facebook, so I don't know who everybody is who are following me. And I just engage with people as they are commenting on my things or whatnot. So I have a lot of the same people who will comment on stuff. And I love that because it's provided me with this like family and friendship with people who are not blood related. And I love that about the socials. I love that. So first message, quote, here we go. You Trumper fat bitch. I can't believe you're a Hitler lover. Totally unfriending you. Disappointed beyond belief. I've supported you, but it makes all the sense now. Bye. That's the message, folks. So I am a Trumper bitch. I'm sorry. Okay. I was trying to get through this without fucking laughing, but I'm not going to. And I don't mean it to be disrespectful to these people, because I'm laughing because of how it proves a point. Okay. So clearly this person lies to the left. Okay. We're going to leave it at there. That's message number 1. Message number 2 came through the next day. OMFG. You're a Trumper. To think you support Hitler and his henchmen stealing from America and spreading their hate. Unfollow. No longer engaging on your page. Bye-bye. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Pull it together, Denise. Okay. So clearly this person always lies, or also lies on the far left. Now, I didn't get any messages from my friends on the far right complaining that I was too far centered. But because these 2 came from the far left, they don't have a center. And this is one of the biggest issues that I talked about when you're far left. You hate Trump, okay, and apparently his henchmen, I'm assuming that means Elon Musk. I'm going to be honest, I don't know, okay. But the similarity in the tone of these messages is an echo chamber of hate. And it's a brainwash system. They literally mirrored two separate people on two separate days from two sides of our country. Might I add, both two extremely liberal blue states. Okay. Sent messages that almost mirrored each other in their speech and in their hate speech, to be honest with you. Because I was referred to as a Trumper both times. Okay. I guess that's because I've admitted that I voted for him. Okay. I also stated why, because I didn't have a choice of anybody other candidates that would work for what my family needed. One felt obligated to also tell me I was a fat bitch. Okay. I don't know how that's selling your point, but, and then, I'm a Hitler lover and and the other one, I can't believe I support Hitler and his henchmen. Somebody had to go take that extra step. Okay. So this is how I believe, and I think I've talked about this briefly, but I think I'm going to make it real clear in this episode. Okay. I find it disgusting, and this is why people want to erase history so that people like this don't have a fucking clue. But I highly believe that anybody who feels that Trump is Hitler needs to take a fucking ride to Auschwitz, and then we'll talk and we'll sit down. We'll sit down and we'll talk. There's a whole area you can go through to see that camp. Yeah. Okay. I've been there. And then we'll talk about Hitler. It literally sickens me that people are so stupid about history. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. And his henchmen. Okay. It's like a Netflix special. Like, stop it. Unfriending you. We're not friends, but you can unfollow. Like, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know how to do that. She'll get this too. I don't know. Disappointed beyond belief. I've supported you. Okay. So up until one episode where we disagreed politically, you were right on board with everything I had to say with my podcast. I know this because looking back, I see that she's liked every episode. But suddenly I say something that doesn't fit from within what you're hearing in your echo chamber. And now I'm a fat bitch, a Trump lover, and a Hitler lover. And it all makes sense now. What makes sense now? Like, I don't understand. Oh, and bye, because I'll never understand people who need to announce their exit. Just go, baby. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I'm going to continue to stay in the middle and try to explain to people how we can become closer and unite this country, in my opinion. And you could continue telling people that they're fat bitches and all sorts of stuff because they disagree what you personally believe in. And that's okay. You know why it's okay? Because it's part of America. It gives us the right to do so. Try that in another country, and you're going to run into some problems. Second one, not only am I a Trumper, I support Hitler and his henchmen. This is the best part. Stealing from America and spreading their hate. No one else sent me a nasty hate. You mean like this message? This hate message? Do you see how you can't did I respond to either one of these people? Absolutely not. In actuality, I blocked them both because this is like mental health issues. Okay. No longer engaging on your page. Unfollow. Awesome. Solve the problem. Unless you're listening this week and realizing I'm blasting it on social media and no one will know except for you if you're the person who wrote the message. And you'll know by that feeling that you're feeling of being angry that I'm talking about it is actually a self-reflection of your embarrassment, and you're ashamed that you sent another person a message like this. And that's okay, because as long as you work from it and you make yourself a better person, then you just move on. That's what you do. Oh, and also, bye-bye. Another person who had to announce their departure. People, let me tell you right now, if you are unhappy with anything on social media, you do not have to announce your departure. You don't have to tell people that you're leaving Facebook because you don't like what all the posts are saying or that it's stressing you out. This is the drama mindset of importance that the media and social media and TV and movies and influencers or supposed influencers and MLMs and all of this society places that we have a special little importance and that we must explain to everyone why we were leaving. I've totally been guilty of this. And I will tell, like, it's different. Like, I will tell people, like, if I'm taking a break, hey, you know, I'm taking a weekend off because I'm doing the whole no social media thing, so I don't get a bunch of messages with people. It doesn't mean I'm leaving permanently. But if you're unhappy with something that's going on within like a group or a page, you don't need to announce your departure. It doesn't work for you anymore. It's not sitting right with how you're going forward. Just get out of the group. I do it all the time. And I don't ever say, you know what, I'm just unhappy with how everybody talks on this and you're all fat bitches. And so, bye-bye. No, you don't have to do any of that. You just need to click leave group or unfollow. And it is totally okay. You could just move on with your life the very instant you click that button. But it is not okay to send messages like this. But I feel like it's okay to send it to me because then I can use it on my podcast platform to explain to people why people can't talk to other people like this. Did I immediately feel like, oh my God, like I'm really a hateful and horrible person because this person sent me this? No, I didn't at all. I actually kind of laughed when I read both of them. As you could see, I was trying to pull it together, take this seriously, but these messages are jokes, not literal jokes. They're jokes that people would actually have the audacity to send them to anyone, let alone to me. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following me for the last, however, cereal box years, it's almost been like 4 or 5 years since cereal box days. If you're following me since that time, and you send me a message like this and don't think it's going to be on a podcast or fucking live, you are deaf. You are tone deaf, my friend. It's like, duh. All right. That's all I got for you guys this week. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Until then, lead with kindness and lead on God. Bye-bye.